Hare Krishna. Hello friends, I hope you all are doing well. This is Ritendra, I'm preacher of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, and I'm going to talk about self-induction theory, the theory of self-induction physics and Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, how both are related with each other. When we get into the self-induction theory, the theory of the self-induction states that when the current in a coil changes magnetic field, it produces induce an electromotive force. So whenever we are actually in working in some kind of action, we are actually changing, we are actually pushing ourselves toward the some to get something. So that is something like a self induction. So this theory actually stated about the EMF, like electromotive force in the same coil, which oppose the change in the current according to the Farad law and also Lenz law. And this phenomena is also known as a self-induction. The theory of the self-induction property of the coil is also called self-induction theory. The self-induction or self-induce depends on the coil's geometry, number of the turns area, and also magnetic permeability of its core material, and not the current itself. Depend upon the material. So here Krishna said, whenever you are associated with something, if you are associated in the spiritual atmosphere, then self-induction will there to motivate you to adhere or to attain the bhakti principles, or to bhakti, or like a prayer like activities, or involved in the devotional practices. So this is actually what Lord Krishna clearly stated. So depend upon the atmosphere, depend upon the material in which you are involved, depend upon the situation in which you are involved, depend upon the people with whom we are working. So here Krishna said, means self-induction is depend upon the material which actually with which you are associated. Here Madhusudan clearly stated, changing current, changing the magnetic field, changing the current, changing the magnetic field. If you are changing the atmosphere, then your self-induction, self-motivation will surely be changed. So here Lord Krishna clearly stated in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna totally demotivated, and after getting association, of Lord Krishna, Arjuna's mindset totally be changed here. That's why Arjuna here clearly stated, Karpanya doso prahata swabhav pochhamidam dharma sammudha cheta yasasya sanischitam buhitan me sishyam te aham sadimam tam prapannam. Here Arjuna clearly stated, my dear Krishna, I become your disciple, and please guide me, please instruct me what ought to do and what ought not to do. So whenever we are associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna will induce self-induction in our body, in our mind, in our soul. So in order to get a self-induction, in order to get a self-motivation, in order to associate in the devotional practices, in order to move on the righteous path, you just have to associate with the good people. You just have to associate with the righteous people. Because if you are associated with the wrong people, then self-induction will definitely divert into the wrong manner. So in order to divert the self-induction in the right manner, so your right association is required most. So this is important of self-induction. This actually theory directly associated with the material. Material means we are actually considered, according to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, according to this theory, material is something like a magnetic field, something like a coil, something like a copper and all. But according to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, material is something like a human being. Material is something like a material world or association or particles. So particles are also one kind of material. So this is what actually Madhusudan clearly stated. And induced EMF, that is called back EMF. According to the Faraday law, electromagnetic induction, the changing the magnetic flux, the amount of the magnetic field passing through the coil induce an electromotive force into the coil. So it depends upon your association. If you are associated very strongly with the spiritual people, then you will surely develop yourself in spiritual way. And if you are not associate yourself in a with the spiritual people, then you will surely not, you are not able to develop yourself, you are not able to develop in the spiritual activities and spiritual motivation, you are not able to get spiritual induction, you are not able to get. So this is actually depend upon how strong your association is. This is what Madhusudan clearly stated. Self-induction, the property of the coil that enable it to the generate the back EMF in the response to the change in the own current is called a self-induction. The current is there, the motivation is there, but your association, the material, the particle or material association, the spiritual association which actually help you to motivate yourself in the right manner and right way. This is what Madhav clearly stated. This is what Madhusudan clearly stated. I hope you all can understand. If you have any question, any doubt in this comparison of the theory of self-induction and Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, then please kindly put a comment. And thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jai Sri Radhe.